So we got a game today between Snow and Mishinji. We are on Neo Silphid. This is a ladder game from 2023, a PVZ, and I'm looking forward to bringing it to you today. So if you never hung out with me before, I'm Rabbit Roo, a passionate Broodwar caster. And yeah, we're bringing to you a variety of games. I'm actually in the process of recording a triple header today, so this is the third game that I've done on the bounce. It's another Snow game. I'm a big fan of the way he plays. I just got back after being at home for about 5-6 weeks in South Africa. Unfortunately, had to mourn the passing of my father, but am back now, and so should be producing some casts on a more regular basis. I've also done away with the lo-fi beats for the time being, and I'm just going to stick with the Starcraft music. And today I didn't feel like putting the webcam on, but we'll smile at you guys again in the not too distant future. Okay, so Neo Silphid, flat map, starting with the forward gateway. Okay, so it's going to be some aggression from Snow. PVZ is certainly his weakest matchup in terms of the perception and statistically. I've just finished casting a game of his, a PVT, and it was an absolute cracker against last best, top ranking ladder alias, and a very enjoyable game that it was. So that one will probably be published before this one comes out. I've got absolutely no bank content, so I'm building content from scratch. I'm having been away unexpectedly for quite a long period of time. Looked like a hatchery first. Yeah, there we go. A hatch first from our Zerg. So because there's no early forge, there's no risk of being cannon rushed. So I suppose that is a little bit fortunate. But at the same token, now he's certainly going to have to fend off some initial zealot pressure from Snow that would be incoming pretty soon. The zealot is already on the way in the production tab, and I've no doubt he'll send him across the map almost immediately. So he has not yet scouted him, but he is looking to try and harass this drone to block the establishment of the sub 3-minute hatch. It's going to be a pretty econ aggressive style from the Zerg if they do go sub 3 minutes. So this probe is just relentlessly following this drone. I see the zealot moving across the minimap as well. I'm going to click on him and move the screen to him when he arrives at the hatchery. I'm curious to see if he's going to try and harass the main, or if he's just going to try and harass the natural. So it just gives up chasing the probe, which gives us the chance to see our zealot saying, "Hi, how are you?" Okay, so I'm going to put some hit points on the hatchery, and then when your lings arrive, I'm probably going to like tuck myself in here behind the mineral line somewhere. Okay, well that's probably as good as I can do as Bob the Zealot moves back and forth. Another Bob the Zealot. Oh no, that's a lot of lings. Don't think he's going to move any more zealots across. I think he might just use these zealots to hold the line before he establishes his forge, so that any counter punches can be dealt with without doing any damage. Okay, so the hatch is the third hatch is going nicely. Gas is coming in. Interesting to see if it's going to be Hydras before Lair, if he's going to go Lair, Spire, and then Hydras. Getting his Nexus up and going. Now probably going to build himself a cyber core to hold the wall, if I could predict. He's very bold the way he plays this game. And that's a forge. Okay, so he's not going crazy, Snow. I've seen him do that before, where he builds a cyber core and just delays the forge because of the amount of info that he has here with the zealot, and he can see where his opponent's lings are. That is sometimes why he is bold enough to do that, but decides against that this time. Decides to, now that the forge is incoming and he does know where the lings are, to maybe move some zealots out into the line of sight of the overlord. Seems to be a split, where some would go to the natural. No, it's not. He seems to have figured out somehow, probably with his scouting, that this is where the third hatchery of the Zerg is, and so he's going to go and harass this, which is going to force out more lings from our Zerg unless he wants to lose this hatchery. So very effective play, and probably the fundamental benefits as a Protoss player for going for this open is you have an opportunity to do a serious amount of damage. You'd probably even get this hatchery. I'll keep the health bar on This is still, he needs about 12 lings with good service areas to get us around. So this is forcing out or indirectly killing a lot of drones to try and save this hatchery. Snow now buying time. Behind this is probably going to get his cybernetics core up and running. It's about to finish. And then we'll see what tech he gets from there. These zealots have still got plenty of health on them. Getting another really, really good angle. And I don't think these zealots need to retreat. He's going to have to keep continuously building lings until such time as this zealot harassment is gone. Not sending any reinforcing zealots, so just holding the wall there with some cannons. So this last zealot is going to go. He's going to hold on to the hatchery, but has certainly stalled out the build of the Zerg. He's not built any drones during that time period, basically just building lings. He's got himself 4 zealots holding the line, a second cannon coming in here, a starport, second gas. Kept obviously going perfectly with his pro production. So he's in a very, very strong position, a very, very good opening for our Protoss. So lings are scattered all around the map. This is really unbelievable amounts of vision for the Zerg. And now it looks like he's going to try and throw in a bit of ling pressure. I think he's also, I can see that faster Hydraless movement and range, probably the next upgrade is going to be done. And then we could see some Hydra pressure coming in as well. But of course there's already in the production tab. So in terms of an early warning, Snow is going to know exactly what's coming long before it comes. There is a layer, so it isn't exactly like an all-in Hydra build. I think he's just probably going to skip Spire and maybe go Lurker a little bit quicker. We'll have to keep an eye on that production tab to see which way he goes. So it does upgrade the range right after the movement. So does seem to be the intention to do Hydra pressure. It looks like it's going to be I would say Templars. We only still got the one gateway. Second gate is coming in. There's not a heap of cannons here. So suddenly the Hydras are jumping on things, and there's only a handful of zealots. 2 cannons have to hold the line. This is serious pressure from the Zerg, and he's done this very, very quickly. Snow had to pull probes. Didn't lose an awful lot. I reckon he probably lost about 8. But in the grander scheme of the game, losing 8 probes and surviving is certainly better than losing no probes and dying. It's got 4 more cannons warping in here. The Zerg now looks like he's trying to target down either this gateway or stop this upgrade or both. But this game, here we go, it does seem to want to jump on top of the cannon, does snipe it nicely. Some more reinforcing Hydras coming in here and suddenly facing a serious amount of pressure. The Corsairs here are around, are griefing some overlords, which will mean that the Zerg cannot simply send every Hydra that he's producing straight to the natural of the Protoss. We'll have to keep some behind to protect 1 or 2 overlords. Gateway does go down. Forge goes down. He's going to have to rebuild that in his main. This is a serious, serious onslaught. Only 19 drones though, so the trade-off from the Zerg is that he seriously almost has to end the game here, or if not, do catastrophic damage to the Protoss. Does have himself 2 more gateways that he's built here, has rebuilt his forge, is upgrading +1 air, which shows a commitment to Corsairs at the very least. And the Corsairs are doing some good damage. I think they're going to pick off another Overlord. And I don't like the chances of... Oh, kill him. Kill that one. He's got no health, mate. Come on. Okay, well, he's gone. And he's gone too. Wow, okay. So the Corsairs have paid for themselves and then some. It's going to really, really slow the Zerg down. He actually can't attack here because he can't trade. He needs to build himself. He's built 5 Overlords here with his money and nothing else. A little bit sloppy there, positioning his Hydras. So he's got lots of cannons here. He's weathered the storm. Probably going to build 1 or 2 more probes to get back to a nice saturation point. And then we're going to see the Templar Archives coming in. So we're going to get Storm soon. And then I don't know how effective this little containment of Hydras is going to be. The Zerg recognizing that realizes, okay, I've got to get some drones. So he basically builds 10 drones at once. And Lurker Aspect is coming in, and I think a Lurker Contain is probably the only move available to the Zerg if he wants to try and win this game. does get away with that Corsair. Resaturating a little bit, moving some units around, but I think this is just going to become a field of lurkers, and then it'll be on Protoss to try and break out. I like the Zerg song. It's pretty cool. Alright, so before our lurker field can become a lurker field, it looks like Snow wants to move across the map with pure Zealot. So no, High Templars are in production behind this, so I think if this doesn't go particularly well, he will be protected by the fact that he's got some DTs, some High Templars, some Storms, has a look there and goes, no, thank you, that's a nice Sim City, with lots of Hydras behind that, I don't fancy that. Let's go have a look at something else maybe. I think good decision making from Snow. This coming up here now with lurkers is going to be a no-go zone. His robo is still in production, so he definitely doesn't have observers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him just turn around here as well, and he does. So I think he's going to go home. However, establishing that his Zerg is only on 3 bases and decides, well, this is a good time for me to expand. I don't think Zerg wants to move out onto the map. I think Zerg wants to take a defensive posture, put his lurkers in play, protect his bases. So I'm going to use this narrow window of time to establish myself a 3rd base. So I don't think the Zerg has scouted this, and even so, he hasn't gone for the Nexus right away. I think he's built a... Excuse me, that is the Nexus. Just seems like a weird position, but it's just a matter of perspective. Here come all the cannons. So using his agile units or his mobile army to secure this 3rd base, which I think is going to be a pivotal moment in this game. Our Zerg now is going to be under pressure to establish a 3rd and 4th base to be able to compete with the Protoss. Probably here would be the easiest place for the Zerg to take it. And you can see very, very active, moving up and down with his units on the map. Observers coming into play. I think once his observers are in the game, I reckon we'll see Dragoon range, and then we'll see a pivot into Dragoons to try and combat the lurkers that the Zerg has been making. Is he going to try and establish a 4th behind this as well? Wow, looks like he's just going straight for this main. I don't know if it was to scout. I think it might have been. We missed a drop. That must have been a drop. But there's no shuttles. How the hell did you get in here? That is insane. There's no ways that he made a shuttle because of the timing of his robots. So how those got in there, I do not know. Did you just walk in the front door? No, there's lurkers here. And there's overlords. Well, that's gonna bother me. He definitely didn't make a shuttle. He is picking off some overlords though. Ah, he did make a shuttle. Stupid me. Alright, I missed a drop. I'm sorry. Sneaky move though. Pretty well blocked by the Zerg, to be honest. Didn't really do much economic damage at all. And behind that drop, establishing himself a 4th base. And I think this is really problematic for Zerg. He's got 3 bases, trying to establish a 4th, which is going to get harassed here with a lot of Dark Templars. This is a high number of Dark Templars for a Protoss player to make. Nice storm there. And he's got his observers with him as well. His High Templars pivoting about. 128 players, 112. Worker transfer happening here. Very patient from Snow. I think that's the one component of his game that has improved massively over recent years. Is he's really become so good at transitioning between aggression and defense. And I think particularly in PvT that makes him unbelievably good. But in all matches, including this one, which everybody says is his weakest, and I think that's fair comment, He has certainly made heaps of improvements to get his win rate up to much closer to where it needs to be, and certainly much higher than what it's historically ever been. So the Ling comes up here and goes, oh damn, you have this base as well? I am in big trouble. I don't have this position. I don't have this position. I'm not going to be able to keep up with you economically. I need to do some damage, and I need to do it fast. So as true as that all is, the question's going to be what unit comp and where do you pressure if you are this Zerg? Yeah, well, they've all left there, so Snow's kind of wondering, well, do I go up the hill? I don't think you should against all these lurkers. So Protoss or Snow deciding, well, you're trying to establish yourself a fourth base. I think I'm just going to block it. And now this is becoming quite a dominant performance. I think blocking Zerg from establishing a fourth is pretty much all he needs to do to win. He'll just starve out the Zerg with all of the econ that he has. Zerg's not going to stand a chance if he can't get a fourth base up. Look at the number of DTs. I mean, this is like clownish. Corsair DT on steroids here. He's got no storm with him. He's just going DT. Heaps of DTs. Heaps of Corsairs to kill overlords. Disruption web as well. Wow. That is actually a really cool thumbnail candidate. Look at this in a PVT, a disruption web Corsair DT. That is so cool. Here are all the Corsairs as well. Wrecking fools. And a limited amount of things that these lurkers can do. I think Snow, realizing that he was in a very strong position here, decided to pull the trigger on a little bit of a trolley build. You don't see this very often, but he's got so many bases and so much money. He's in a very dominant place. He's got observers, he's got DTs, they've got upgrades, all these drones, of which there are heaps of drones here. There's got to be at least 20-30 drones. And the Corsairs just come in, wreck the overlords, so they cannot see the DTs. The Zerg is absolutely helpless. He's just getting smashed. Down to about 5 DTs left, but he cannot see them. So he has to pull all of these drones. He's losing them by the bushel though, because it's not the only place he's got DTs. He's sent in reinforcements this side. The Zerg GG's, and Snow goes mass DT in a PVZ, and it works like an absolute charm. I will never ever get tired of watching this guy play. He is still partying after the guy leaves. And oh man, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, man, Snow always gonna entertain no matter what he's doing. That was a very fun PVZ. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, stick with me to this far, thank you. Please do leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. We're just about to pass, if we haven't already, 500 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Until next time, you take it easy, man. I'll see you soon.